Question: is inaction destroying you from the inside out? What is the cost of inaction for you personally and professionally? Inaction is simply not doing anything, not taking action on your dreams, goals, and aspirations. So let me tell you what triggered the inspiration behind this video. My son Zion has an assignment where he has to interview someone who was born 2 generations before him. So he says, "Dad, can you help me out?" I said, "Well, let's call Uncle Kenny in Chicago, because I know my Uncle Kenny would be very real, transparent, and appropriately for a 10-year-old. So I reach out to my Uncle Kenny before I'm picking Zion up for school. And I said, "Uncle Kenny, is it okay if Zion interviews you just about life? It's an assignment. And, here's some of the questions. But, in the process of interviewing someone, other questions may manifest." And he says, "JD, of course." So the interview is going well. He's asking him about his life, some of his accomplishments. So it gets to the part about regrets. "Uncle Kenny, is there anything that you would do differently, or do you have any regrets?" My Uncle Kenny kind of stumbled a little bit, and he says, "You know what, nephew? Yes, I'm disappointed that I didn't do some of the things that I should have done, that I knew that I had the ability to do." So Zion says, "Well, if you knew that you can do it, why didn't you do it?" And everyone, this is the inspiration behind this video. So as we sat in this car right now, and Zion, well, he's in school right now, but he's sitting here in the passenger side, Uncle Kenny says, "I was scared, man. I was scared." And so we had this conversation about fear. And then my Uncle Kenny says, "Nephew, I overthought shit a lot of the times." So everyone, here's what I want to share with you. Is inaction preventing you? Is it a barrier for you living the future that you want on an intimate level, on a personal level, and on a professional level? And being the thinker that I am, when that interview was done and I'm in bed that night and I thought about my uncle, and I started to think about where would I be if I hadn't submitted to some of my inactions. But let me tell you, fear, intellectualization, let me tell you, this mind, this brain is a very powerful tool. We all know that. And it helps us and it can hinder us. It can be fruitful, it can be abundant, but it can also be harmful and hurtful. So I want you to deal with this intellectual piece of our mindset, where we start to become extremely rational, extremely evaluative, extremely analytical, that it stops us in our tracks. And then we don't do anything, because our intellect tells us all the potential problems and barriers, which is critical in goal setting and goal achieving, to know what are your potential obstacles. However, we don't stay there and ruminate about the obstacles. We create a contingency plan. Did you hear that? We create a contingency plan. So when the obstacles, barriers, and stumbling blocks manifest, I have a potential strategy to overcome those. So here are the potential problems. Here are the potential solutions. Here is my contingency. Here is how I go from being potentially stuck to unstuck. So yes, list the problems, list the obstacles, list the barriers, and then by yourself and with your dream team, a group of supportive people who are committed to helping you thrive, succeed, and flourish. Come up with a contingency plan for each one of those problems. And this is what we call doing our due diligence. So do your due diligence. But in the process of doing your due diligence, don't allow your intellect to trap you and to suffocate you and to paralyze you. And then we start to worry. When you look up the etymology of worry, you know what worry means? To choke or to suffocate. When we start to worry, it suffocates the creativity, the ingenuity, the innovative thinking. It interferes with your ability to be the architect of a new future. And you don't want that. I don't want that for you. And fear. This January 2021, I spent the whole entire month going over tips from my book, Get Up Off Your Butt and Do It Now. And in the book, I talk about fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success, fear of the unknown. So I'm not going to cover all those right now. But if you want to, hey, you can go back and look. But here's what I want to share with you. Fear and inaction, they have a relationship. And the thing that you fear, if you don't learn how to tame that fear, to manage that fear, to persist in spite of the fear, inaction will become a part of your daily living. So I want to share with you, don't let inaction rob you. Take action. Peace out. This is Dr. Jermaine.